Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a deeper dive on Final Cut Pro's new auto mask. We're going to give this woman a total transformation using the auto mask tool, which is a little different from the magnetic mask in that you're not using an eyedropper to select elements out of your frame. With the auto mask, Final Cut is automatically recognizing certain elements in your frame and isolating them so you can crop them off the background or apply effects to just those isolated areas. Now, I just want to clarify, when I say we're doing like a beauty transformation, I don't mean aesthetically. I mean like the technical industry term for a beauty shot, which is a close-up of someone's face. There's always someone in the comments when we talk about things like this that doesn't like that I'm changing the way someone looks. This is just for fun. We're just doing this as an exercise. And when I say beauty, I'm not saying I'm making her any more or less beautiful. We're just changing the way she looks, okay? All right, let's jump right on in. So here's the shot of the woman we're going to be working with in all her raw form. Now remember, I said that the auto mask allows you to isolate elements in your frame so you can cut them off the background or add effects just to those areas. We're going to be doing both of those things in this tutorial. So I'm going to start by duplicating this clip by selecting it, holding down the Option key, and clicking and dragging to stack the clip up on top of itself. And then I'm going to disable the bottom clip for now. Now let's select that top clip and add our auto mask. So I'm going to head on over to the magic wand at the bottom of the viewer and select Add Auto Mask. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, let me give you a quick tutorial. At the top of your viewer, you're going to see this plus sign. If we hit this, we're going to get a list of all the elements Final Cut detects in this particular clip. And you can select elements that you want to mask by just checking these boxes, or you can run your cursor over different areas of the frame and make your selections. So in this case, for this particular layer in our project, I want to affect the skin. So I'm going to select skin either by clicking in my viewer or checking this box, and I'm going to hit Add Auto Mask. And now you can see we've cut this woman's skin off the background. Now I want to apply a smoothing effect to her skin, and the way we're going to do this, I needed to cut her skin entirely off the background. You'll see why in just a second. So let's open the effects browser and drag and drop the Gaussian blur onto her skin. And now I'm going to enable the bottom clip. And obviously this looks very affected, does not look right. Let's select that top clip again and make some adjustments. The first thing I want to do is change the blend mode from normal to lighten. This is one of the reasons we needed this to be its own layer, because we need to change the blend mode of just the skin. And then we're going to reduce the amount of the blur significantly. I'm at about a 6 there, and I think that looks pretty good. Let me disable the blur. I'm going to zoom way in on my screen here so you can see what we've done. We've blurred out her skin, but her lips and eyes still look razor sharp. I'm going to disable the clip so you can see it before and after. You can see that we are getting a little expansion from the blur around her jawline that's covering her hair. We're going to fix that in the next step. Now I want to modify the color of her hair and her eyes and her lips, but we can do this all on one clip. So what I'm going to do is make another version of this original clip, hold down the Option key, click and drag it to the top, and let's start by recoloring her hair. I'm going to go to the color inspector and let's just add a color board. And now here's my color board. I can actually add an auto mask through the color board. So I'm going to do that by, in the color inspector, clicking on this little person here. This adds an auto mask. I'm going to add auto mask, and I can just, right in my viewer, I'm going to select her hair and her eyebrows to match, and then hit add to auto masks. And now any changes I make inside the color board will affect just those areas. So first of all, I want to drop the saturation down. Not all the way down, but pretty low. Let's head on over to exposure, and I'm going to drop the highlights and midtones like so. And I'm actually going to raise the shadows to bring back a little detail in the darker areas. And I'm going to lower the saturation just a little more to give her that real chocolate brown color. All right, let's move on to her lips. So I'm going to add another color board, add another auto mask. This is all on the same clip, and let's select her lips. Let's head on over to color, and let's pick a lip color for her. Let's do something a little berry. And we'll just reduce the saturation a little and then bring down the exposures as well. So here's a before and here's an after. All right, let's move on to the eyes. So if I try to do this method one more time, it's not going to give us the effect that we want. So I've added a third color board. Let's add the auto mask. And this time let's select her eyes. And now if I change the color of her eyes, it's affecting the whites and everything, not what we're looking for. So let's use a different method. I'm going to delete this third color board by selecting it and hitting the delete key. And instead, let's add the hue and saturation curves so we can be a little bit more precise. I'm going to zoom real tight in on my frame here. Let's first start with hue versus luma. I'm going to take this puck on the left side and let's just pop it up and really brighten up the whites of her eyes. And then I'd really like to make her irises pop, but frankly, I don't even know what color these eyes are. Sometimes they look green, a little blue, a little gray. Let's just crank up the hue versus saturation and see what we get. Okay, we are making her eyes pop, but I'm also bringing out the reds in the whites of her eyes. So I'm going to add some control points on the red areas and bring down that saturation to get rid of anything red, but crank up the saturation of the other colors, particularly the greens and blues. So there's your before and there is your after. Let's zoom out of our frame. And she's definitely looking a little different, but if you've noticed, we've lost our skin smoothing because we've covered it with this top layer here in our timeline. Let's fix that now. Remember, the skin smoothing's on this clip. We need to expose this clip. So let's head to the magic wand menu again, add yet another auto mask, and we're going to reselect all of the areas we just modified. And now our skin smoothing is back and our hair is covering that blurred expansion line we had earlier. Remember, I promised you we would fix that? I'm going to zoom way in again and disable this top clip. Do you see that blur line I was trying to get rid of? We've covered it with this top layer. All right, this is quite a transformation, but there's one more change I want to make. It's a little crazy. I want to brighten up the dark circles under her eyes, and I'm actually going to do that by masking out her eyebrows. I had tried doing this already with her eyes, but I found that every time she blinked, my little drop shadows went away. So we're gonna have to use the eyebrows. This one's a little nuts, just stick with me here. So what I need to do is take this original clip and I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to stack it under our top clip, but above our skin smoother, okay? And then I'm going to take the drop shadow effect and drop it onto that clip. Now we're gonna have to do some extra steps for this, and I just wanna show you why. I've noticed that with the drop shadow, it doesn't really work the same way with the auto mask as other effects. If I add an auto mask to the drop shadow and select her eyebrows, nothing happens. There's no drop shadow. You cannot use the drop shadow and the auto mask this way, and I'll show you why. I'm gonna delete this auto mask, so I still have the drop shadow effect, but no auto mask. Let's grab the mask from the magic wand menu, add the eyebrows, and still nothing's happened. That's because we need to drag the auto mask above the drop shadow. And then there is our eyebrow drop shadow. And so the reason we had to do it separately is because when you add the auto mask to an effect, it drops it at the bottom of the effect, but the mask for this particular case actually needs to be at the top. So now we can select our drop shadow, and I'm going to reposition it under her eyes and just play with the perspective a little bit. And because we've stacked this clip under our top clip, when I move it up, it actually doesn't cover her eyes. So I can place it, let's say about here. I'm going to crank up the opacity, but I'm also going to crank up the blur some. So at first blush, it seems like I'm making things worse. All I need to do now is just color pick from her skin. And so here is the before, and here is the after. We've just sort of brightened her up a little bit. And of course, I don't have to track anything with the auto mask. All I need to do is render it out. And there is our transformation completed with just the auto mask and a few simple effects in Final Cut. I hope you had fun watching this tutorial and it gave you some inspiration and ideas about how to use Final Cut's new AI-powered auto mask. If you want to know what else is new in Final Cut Pro, you missed a big video yesterday. I'm going to stick it for you right here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you again.